The British Council and the European School have been working together since November 2017 on a major project focused on English language teaching and learning, which is planned for next 3 years. The British Council is a leader in teaching English language and has a unique background in teacher development as well. This is why the European School chose the British Council as a partner, and now we are implementing their education model at the school. Several professionals from the British Council manage a successful implementation of the project. One of them is Teaching Center Manager, Mr. Stephen Shelley.
As I mentioned, the project launched a few months ago. Mr. Shelley, some preparatory work has been conducted already. So can you provide us with more detailed information about ongoing professional development? What has been done so far and where are we now?
Okay, so right from day one at the school, when we arrived here, me and the academic management team came in, observed the teachers. We wanted to find out, what the strengths of the school are and what areas there are to work on and to change. So we came in, we observed everybody. We started conducting teacher training straight away so that the students could start benefiting even last year from the British Council's expertise. We did a recruitment process, so we've got a new teaching team here, a new team of some new teachers, some of the existing ones. Yeah, we've all been working together since the beginning of term in January to deliver high quality English lessons, and we want to keep doing that, and we want to get better too.
Which challenges and obstacles have you encountered so far?
Okay, so probably the biggest thing that we wanted to work on and to change, and we're changing at the moment, was about using Georgian in the classroom. So a lot of the students were communicating mostly in Georgian, sometimes even the teachers were speaking in Georgian. The British Council model is one where all communication happens in English. So that's what we've been working on with the teachers, to make sure that everything's done in English. We believe, as English is the international language, that the more that students practice in English, the better they will be. And there's no better way to do that than to speak lots and lots of English in the classroom.
We are talking about Georgian program.
Yes, yes, exactly,
and
yeah.
Probably the language of instruction, we know it's Georgian there, and maybe this is why it needs to put more emphasis on that teachers, even in Georgian program, are not allowed to use Georgian.
Some of the teachers were using only English, and some of them were using lots and lots of English, but it's just the number one thing for us to work on, and we're working on it with the teachers at the moment. And I think it's fair to say, when I've seen observations before and after, there are big improvements being made.
What is the main aspect of teaching which needs modification in order to meet the standards of British educational model? Okay,
so the British Council is all about the communicative language approach, which is about taking the teacher from being in the centre of the room and everyone listening to the teacher speak, and it's about instead the students working. So we like to say that the teachers don't sweat so much, it's the students who sweat, the students who do the hard work. So that's what we're working on. There's a lot of techniques and a lot of training that we've been doing with the teachers to help them develop those techniques and to develop the confidence to make the students work harder together, and the teachers instead are guiding and leading the students towards what they need to do and what they need to improve.
British Council offers high standards of customer service. Are you going to adopt those standards in classroom environment as well?
Yes, so that is one of the things we're working on. We're recruiting a customer service team to come and work here at the European School on behalf of the British Council. We will be speaking a lot to parents and speaking a lot to students, the young learners in the classrooms. What we believe is that by talking to them and asking them what they want, asking them what they need, we can try to improve every day. So a couple of things that we're going to be doing are lots of surveys and focus groups, also meetings. We're going to have meetings with parents where they get the opportunity and they get to come and meet me and meet the British Council's director, and we'll be doing that to try and reach out to the parents. We want to start more conversations.
Miss Nelly Gautaya yes, is one of the teachers involved in this project. What differences you noticed in classroom? Did your students become, after implementing this project, did your students become more engaged, more enthusiastic about their learning?
Generally, we will have a clearer picture, I think, in a few months, because it's not a long time that we have started teaching here at the European School. But what I have noticed, from what I have noticed, we can say that students, little by little, get used to communicating with each other and not only with the teacher. So in English, of course, they have to realize a lot has to be done, but they have to realize that they can learn from speaking to each other and not only from speaking to the teacher. So an ideal picture for me is when the teacher is a conductor and the students are the instruments which can play independently. So as for the motivation of the students, it's not that difficult to motivate them generally, because there are plenty of resources around us, starting from the internet, like pictures, videos, everything. I would say that this generation of young learners in general, they are quite curious about everything. That's why it's kind of not that difficult to find their interests, and we all the time try to do that. So we try to anticipate their interest and incorporate everything that we can do into the class. So an ideal picture for me is when teacher is not the center of the classroom, but the students are, and I can already see that happening, but slowly.
Teachers coordinator here, Ms. Tamta Sanadze. Ms. Sanadze, could you tell us how our teachers benefit from this cooperation of the British Council and the European School? What is the outcome?
How they will benefit,
I think.
they will
benefit.
Okay. Generally speaking, in Georgia, a lot of teachers have completed plenty of training courses successfully. But I can say that a few of them have put these learned theories into practice. So the British Council Georgia is an organization which offers European school teachers to become far better facilitators, to focus on language acquisition via implementing, as Steve mentioned, communicative language teaching principles. So what are they? Prior to this methodology, the priority was given to grammatical competence. But nowadays, teachers will be encouraged to incorporate, for example, new forms of the language into communicative competence. What is a classroom? Classroom is a kind of community where students collaborate, share, and the emphasis are on pair work, group work. So there is a push for authenticity, and this will lead the European school teachers to become real facilitators and help their students to develop their 21st century skills. Which are, I think, digital literacy, communication, collaboration, also critical thinking, creativity, and internationally minded citizenship. And also, the European school teachers will be able to go beyond textbook learning, which is essential, I think, in teaching.
Mr. Shelley, could you share with us any future plans about the project?
Yes, we've got lots of things coming up, lots of big things coming up. The ongoing training that we're doing at the moment, that is being led by Tamta, is being delivered to the teachers very regularly, and that will be continuing. We're going to integrate the teachers here with the teachers at the British Council's main teaching centre on Rustaveli. So we want there to be lots of communication around that, around techniques and around, you know, different ways of achieving our aims. Some of the teachers, for example, will be training for a month during the summer. During their summer holidays, they will go off and do some training, and that will be further big steps towards us achieving what we want to do around communicative language teaching. We'll also be doing lots of fun things when we're going to have some competitions which we're going to use to promote the young learners to speak English more in class. We're going to have lots of communication between parents and teachers and the British Council and parents, and that will be led by a customer service team. So there really are lots of things coming up, lots of things about to happen.
Mr. Shelley, what is the outcome you expect to achieve in students' learning?
That is a really key question, because for me it's what does success look like? And for me, success for this partnership with the British Council and the European School means that we have students who are speaking in English more, communicating with more confidence, that are getting better grades in English, that are enjoying their lessons. Because I find, you know, if students are enjoying themselves and they're relaxed and they're speaking in English, then their performance can really, really improve. So that's what we want to see. Happy students, happy teachers, and much better English.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the interview. I wish you all successful cooperation with between the British Council and the European School, and fulfillment of all the project objectives.
Thank you. Didi Madloba. Thank you.